right, geometry geniuses, I hope you have your feather duster handy because you're going to have to dust off some cobwebs. I believe we did this way back in semester number 1. And what we did is we found how to find the distance between 2 points. Now, we also showed you how to derive this formula by making this into a right triangle and using the Pythagorean theorem. For this example, we're just going to use the formula. Studying the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus the quantity y2 minus y1 squared. All right, now let's take a look here. I am going to first label those 2 points in our line. So up here, we've got to find the distance between these 2 points, and I want to find the name of this point here. So I go left 3. And then I also, I go down 2. All right, so I'm going to call this point my first point. So I'm going to call it x1, y1. And remember, those numbers, the ones there, don't mean anything other than I'm just talking about the first point. All right, now I'm going to go up here to the other point, and I'm going to name this guy. I go right 2, so positive 2, and then up 3, so positive 3. Now, I want to find the distance between these 2 points. I can't really just count boxes because they don't always pass through a box. Like this one goes diagonally through a box, this one goes diagonally, okay? So I'm going to have to use this formula, and I'm going to call this one my second point, or x2, y2. Now I'm going to switch to a color you can see on purple. How about some bright yellow? And I'm going to use that formula, x2 minus x1 squared, x2 minus x1 squared, plus y2 minus y1 squared. My next step is just to substitute what I know. x2 you can see is 2. x1 is negative 3. Now this is where I want to caution you to be particularly careful. The formula says subtract, and then the value is negative 3. So I actually have 2 subtraction signs in there. All right, and let's do that for y2 as well. I get 3, and again, the formula says subtract, and the value is negative 2. So, now I'm going to have to go on to the next step, and my next step is just to do what's inside the parentheses. All right, 2 minus negative 3, that's the same thing as saying 2 plus 3, so I get 5. And 5 squared is the same as 5 times 5, so I'm going to do 5 times 5, and I get 25. Well, guess what's going to happen over here? 3 minus negative 2 is the same as 3 plus 2, which gives me 5. Again, 5 squared is 5 times 5, and that also gives me 25. Now, I'm going to add those two together. 25 and 25 gives me 50. Now, we're going to have to think back really far now, and let me just change colors again for a second. I'm going to go with red, or maybe this is hot pink on your screen, I'm not sure. To simplify the square root of 50, I have to factor it. So I'm going to factor. I know that 2 times 25 gives me 50. 2 is prime, so I'm done with it. 25 can still be broken into 5 times 5, as we just discovered, because we just made it, right? So now what's going to happen is, remember, wherever there's a pair of numbers, one of those numbers can come out. So here I have a pair of 5s, so 5 can come out of the house. But 2, he doesn't have any friends, so he's stuck in the house. He can't come out and play. So the answer is 5 times the square root of 2, which is answer choice C. Now, if you're not really sure how to do that, remember that I could square that number. 5 squared is 25 times 2 would give me the square root of 50. All right. You can also use your calculator to simplify that by using the square root button. All right, yeah, on most calculators, you can just do square root of 50, hit equals, and it should give you 5 times the square root of 2. If your calculator won't do that, what you need to do, if you have one of these Texas Instruments like we have, you're going to just hit the mode button and change it from classic to math print. Okay, change it from classic to math print. If you have any questions about how to get your calculator in that mode, just let one of us know. We're always here to help. All right, thanks. Good luck on number 20.